So I couldn't be more excited to be here on the shore of Lake Washington with Sam Willing. Sam Willing is a podcast host of Imperfection Wins, and she's an executive coach. She's a mother, she's a wife, and she's an all-around awesome person. Today we want to talk a little bit about how to start a sport after the age of 30. It can be intimidating sometimes. Sometimes it can give you a little bit of anxiety, but more often than not, it's a rewarding experience. So I'm hoping that, Sam, you can share a little bit of your story.
Sure, absolutely. So my story with surfing or water sports in general is that I did not do a water sport until I was around 30, and I'm almost 44. And I really was sort of forced into it because as a family, my husband grew up around boats. We bought a wake surfing boat, and my kids were really excited about it. My husband was really excited about it, and I was committed to learning right away. I started water skiing, wakeboarding, and wake surfing all in the same summer. I fell a lot. I found it to be way more difficult than I thought, and it was a bit of a frustrating summer, probably that first summer. I think I had whiplash a few times from wakeboarding falls, and while I found my groove. But I stayed with it. I stayed with it for a couple reasons. One, my kids were watching, and I realized as I was in the water and their little faces were looking at me that they were going to take inventory of how I reacted every time I fell. I started to just relax and sort of focus on the little things that I was doing right. Like, I started to really find joy in it. I started to really love it. I realized that in wake surfing, the falls don't hurt, so it became the water sport of choice for me. It just became a really fun thing, and it actually spurred me on to have the courage to try a lot of different things in my life. It just really started with that, and realizing that I wasn't too old to try something new. I didn't need to be a star athlete to pick up something that I consider athletic.
Right.
And it ended up really giving me a lot of courage in other areas of my life.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. We'll go out and do some wake surfing today, but the number of women that you have brought into the sport, and these are women who enjoy wake surfing, and they're great wake surfers now. I know at least 3 of them. So not only did you conquer your fear and kind of get used to, and start enjoying wake surfing, but then you spread the word.
Nothing more fun than actually seeing one of my girlfriends or their husbands try wake surfing, and then maybe struggle to get up, which everyone does at first, and then they get up, and then the first time they let go of the rope.
And I think that's so great, and because I've heard a lot too in terms of people once they get past a different life stage, and whatever life age that is for them. It could be at 30, it could be at 40, it could be at 50. This reluctance to dive in with 2 feet and learn something new. But there's so much more joy and vitality in life that you can get after.
It's just you and your board and the wave, and you really are just relaxing into it. And I think for me, when I started, that first summer I started water sports was full of this tension for me, because I obviously am a perfectionist because of my podcast, Imperfection Wins. I'm conquering it. But it was filled with some tension and anxiety for me because I wanted to get it. Yeah. And what I realized, I think maybe it was by the second summer, I realized you got to let it go. It's actually about having fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that gives you at least some good inspiration to get out there and try a new sport. It might be wake surfing, might be kiteboarding. For different people have different realities. It could be hiking up a hill or hiking up a mountain. But whatever it is, kind of set that aside, because there's so much more joy in life that you can get out there by pursuing that. Check out Sam's podcast, Imperfection Wins. It's fantastic. If you like this video, please subscribe down there, like it, tell your friends about it, and we'll see you out there on the water. Thanks so much, Sam.